A lot of people allowed it to go on, said nothing, didn't intervene, maybe benefited from it, profited from it. All of these individuals and entities, in my view, have exposure.
Sean Diddy Combs has found himself at the center of a relentless storm as jaw-dropping revelations continue to rock the entertainment world. Following his legal troubles, the controversy has deepened with shocking new speculations. A top lawyer is reportedly pursuing legal action against prominent Hollywood figures linked to the ongoing case. Questions are swirling about which celebrities might come under legal scrutiny next. Could this case expand beyond Diddy, pulling in other influential figures? Stay tuned as we explore the unfolding legal battle, hidden connections, and the high-stakes courtroom drama that could reshape Hollywood. The storm gathers, a legal battle that could shake Hollywood.
A lot of people attended these parties. A lot of people saw this activity going on.
As the case develops, attorney Tony Buzbee has emerged as a key figure in the high-profile legal showdown involving Sean Diddy Combs. Known for his fearless courtroom strategy, Buzbee is determined to expose not just the allegations surrounding Diddy, but also the broader institutional structures that may have played a role in enabling misconduct. According to Buzbee, a culture of silence and inaction within powerful organizations has contributed to ongoing issues in the industry. Now, attention is shifting toward the corporations and entities that may have been involved. He's holding everyone accountable, Buzbee states. There are serious questions about whether some institutions prioritize profits over responsibility. Those who fail to act are now under scrutiny. Meanwhile, Diddy's defense team, led by Mark Agnifilo, is preparing for an intense legal battle. Agnifilo insists that his client is being unfairly targeted and that the media's portrayal of the case has created a biased narrative. This is about more than one person. It's about ensuring that justice is served fairly, without the influence of public opinion, he asserts. His legal strategy emphasizes that while some of Diddy's actions may have raised ethical concerns, they should not be conflated with criminal behavior. Hollywood's reaction, a web of relationships unraveling. Hollywood is watching closely. Once a central figure in the entertainment world, Diddy was known for hosting exclusive gatherings attended by A-list celebrities, politicians, and industry elites. However, in the wake of the controversy, many former associates are distancing themselves, wary of the potential fallout. Buzbee's legal team has reportedly sent formal notices to certain individuals, urging them to cooperate with the investigation. My client maintains his innocence, and we are prepared to fight vigorously in court, Buzbee states as the case gains momentum. While some settlements may be occurring behind closed doors, the ongoing legal proceedings continue to capture public attention. Reports suggest that additional materials, such as messages and documents, could emerge, potentially expanding the scope of the investigation. Unmasking Hollywood's party culture. Diddy's exclusive gatherings were once regarded as some of the most sought-after events in Hollywood, a blend of luxury, networking, and entertainment. However, as new details come to light, questions are being raised about the true nature of these events. Investigators and industry insiders are now re-examining past associations, seeking to determine whether these high-profile gatherings were simply elite social events or if they played a more complex role in the unfolding controversy. As the legal battle continues, one thing is certain: this case is far from over. With each new development, the stakes grow higher, not just for Diddy, but for the entire entertainment industry. The coming weeks may bring new revelations, shifting alliances, and legal twists that could redefine the intersection of celebrity culture and justice. Diddy's parties, a darker side of Hollywood's glamour. As the investigation into Sean Diddy Combs deepens, shocking revelations about his infamous parties are coming to light. What was once glamorized as the height of Hollywood's allure is now under intense scrutiny, revealing a far more complex and controversial scene. Reports describe extravagant parties where luxury and excess allegedly blurred the lines of responsible behavior. These parties, hosted in high-end hotels known for their privacy and discretion, are now facing heavy backlash. The very venues that once catered to Diddy's high-profile events are accused of failing to intervene, prioritizing profits over guest safety. Attorney Tony Buzbee insists that these hotels couldn't have missed what went on, casting them not as innocent bystanders, but as part of a system that benefited from celebrity extravagance. But the investigation doesn't stop at hotel doors. Banks and financial institutions that fueled Diddy's lavish escapades are also being questioned. Were these entities aware of suspicious activity, but chose to ignore it to keep a big-name client happy? With banks required to flag unusual transactions, their apparent oversight here raises concerns about how financial institutions handle high-profile accounts. As lawsuits multiply across states, Busby's case now spans decades, with connections that cut across industries and elite circles of Hollywood. This case isn't just about Diddy. It's a reflection of a system that often shields the powerful from accountability, conspiracy theories, and public speculation. For both insiders and fans, this scandal has a grip that goes beyond any celebrity trial. Revelations about Diddy's parties have fueled numerous theories. One popular theory even claims that Diddy used a body double to dodge arrest, a tale that sounds straight out of a thriller but mirrors the public's fascination with his larger-than-life persona. Then there's speculation about Diddy's elite connections, with some questioning the nature of the circles he moved in. Figures like Joe Rogan and MMA champion Israel Adesanya have discussed Diddy's social connections, raising questions about the powerful figures within his network. Adesanya shared personal anecdotes about nearly crossing paths with Diddy, reflecting on the unpredictable nature of Hollywood's elite circles. Both he and Rogan pondered the secrecy within the industry, the influence of powerful individuals, and the unseen dynamics that shape public perception. Hollywood's secrets unveiled. The speculation is relentless, with whispers of illicit parties and explosive secrets. Recently, a book titled Kim's Lost Words surfaced, claiming to provide insights into Kim Porter's life. However, Diddy's team has dismissed it as fiction. For fans, Kim's Lost Words represents a glimpse into the hidden side of Diddy, a peek behind the curtain of his carefully curated public image.
A lot of people attended these parties. A lot of people saw this activity going on. A lot of people allowed it to go on, said nothing, didn't intervene.
Diddy's scandal, a web of high-profile connections. As the trial intensifies, high-profile figures are getting swept up in the scandal surrounding Sean Diddy Combs. From Prince Harry to Universal Music CEO Lucian Grange, the names are stacking up. Grange, in particular, has been mentioned in discussions surrounding Diddy's case, though his legal team strongly denies any connection. The mere mention of his name speaks to Diddy's far-reaching influence and the power he once held over the entertainment industry. Even Cuba Gooding Jr., who has faced his own legal battles, has been mentioned in connection with Diddy's events, though his legal team insists these claims are baseless. His involvement highlights how deeply this case could impact careers across Hollywood, celebrities scrambling to distance themselves.
Wherever he is, his resolve is the same. He believes he's innocent. I believe he's innocent. And we're going to fight this case with all of our might until we don't have to fight any longer.
Diddy's most recent acquaintances are scrambling to distance themselves. Young Miami, who had been romantically tied to him, denies any involvement or knowledge of the alleged misconduct. Her attempts to sever ties have sparked speculation, as it's common for celebrities to step back when controversy escalates. As the courtroom drama unfolds, Diddy's defense team is sticking to their claim of innocence, but the damage may already be done. Former prosecutor Paul Callan warns that a conviction could have serious consequences for Diddy's career and status in the entertainment industry. The court's decision to deny bail has raised speculation, with some legal experts debating the reasoning behind this rare move for a high-profile defendant. Public fascination and conspiracy theories. The public's fascination with the case has only intensified, with some questioning the extent of Diddy's connections within elite social circles. Figures like Joe Rogan have discussed whether the media is covering up larger issues, fueling curiosity about the powerful figures linked to the case. Some speculate that Diddy's legal strategy could involve negotiations, leading to widespread public curiosity. This theory has only added to the swirling controversy, as fans and insiders eagerly follow the latest developments. Usher's mysterious disappearance. Adding to the mystery is Usher's strange social media disappearance shortly after Diddy's arrest. Usher erased his entire history online, raising eyebrows. He later claimed his account was hacked, but the timing seemed far too coincidental. Whether innocent or not, the action added more fuel to the fire, making fans question what Usher might be trying to erase. Usher's connection to Diddy goes way back to his early days in the industry. At the start of his career, Usher, a young star just finding his way, was guided by L.A. Reid, a major figure in music. When Usher faced a setback, Reid saw Diddy as the solution, someone who could bring new energy to his career. However, the fast-paced world Diddy introduced him to was unlike anything he had experienced before. Flavor Camp, a chaotic mentorship. Diddy introduced Usher to what he called Flavor Camp, a mentorship program that was described as unconventional and intense. Usher even lived with Diddy for a time, immersing himself in the high-energy music scene. The environment was different from what he had expected, exposing him to a fast-paced lifestyle in the music industry. Years later, in a lighthearted interview with Kevin Hart, Diddy casually recalled Usher's time living with him. He joked about them wrestling over frosted flakes, but the moment had an uneasy feel. "We fight over the frosted flakes, you know what I'm saying?" Before pause was invented, Diddy quipped. Hart's response was full of confusion, and Diddy quickly changed the subject, as though he'd revealed too much. The quick shift left viewers wondering just what really went on during those early years with Diddy. After leaving Diddy's camp, Usher's debut album, which Diddy helped produce, marked a turning point in his career. However, questions still linger about those formative years and the lasting impact of his early mentorship.
I'm going to try and get his case to trial as quickly as possible. I'm going to try and minimize the amount of time he spends in very, very difficult...
Usher, Justin Bieber, and the influence of Diddy. Usher's journey to stardom was anything but ordinary. With the backing of industry heavyweight Diddy, his debut album was expected to launch him into the spotlight. However, some fans and critics noticed that the themes explored in the album were surprisingly mature for a teenager. This led to discussions about whether Usher truly had control over his own artistic direction, or if he was merely following the vision set by those around him. Over time, speculation grew regarding Usher's early years under Diddy's guidance. Some former bodyguards and insiders have hinted at unusual experiences behind the scenes, though no concrete evidence has ever been presented. The whispers have persisted, painting a picture of an industry where young artists often find themselves in situations they may not fully understand at the time. Usher as a mentor, guiding Justin Bieber's rise. Years later, Usher found himself on the other side of the equation, as a mentor to a young, rising star. Justin Bieber, a Canadian teenager with undeniable talent, was at a career crossroads. He had two major figures vying for him, Usher and Justin Timberlake. After careful consideration, Bieber chose Usher, a decision that shaped the trajectory of his career. As Bieber entered the entertainment world, Usher introduced him to key players in the industry, including Diddy. At one point, Bieber even spent time under Diddy's wing, an experience that later resurfaced in public discussions. In a now infamous interview, Diddy spoke about taking Bieber under his care for 48 hours. His words, though seemingly lighthearted, raised eyebrows. "I don't really have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So, yeah, we're gonna go full buck, full crazy." At the time, many brushed this off as an extravagant glimpse into celebrity culture. However, in later years, as Bieber opened up about his struggles in the industry, fans began revisiting these moments with a more critical perspective. Bieber has since spoken about the darker sides of fame, how young artists are often overwhelmed by the pressure and the isolation that comes with it. He has described moments of feeling lost, manipulated, and uncertain about whom he could truly trust. His experiences led him to speak out about protecting other young stars, particularly Billie Eilish, from facing similar challenges. "It was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn. Everyone tells me they love me, but they turn their back on you in a second," Bieber once shared, offering a rare glimpse into the emotional toll of early fame. Usher's role and public perception. As conversations around the treatment of young artists in the industry have gained traction, Usher's past choices have come under scrutiny once again. Many began questioning why he, having navigated the entertainment world as a child himself, would introduce Bieber to the same figures he once worked with. Some argue that Usher had little choice. Challenging an industry giant like Diddy could have put his own career in jeopardy. Others believe Usher genuinely thought Diddy's connections would open valuable doors for Bieber. Regardless of intent, the long-term impact of these associations remains a subject of debate. When Diddy recently faced serious allegations, Usher's reaction, or lack thereof, only intensified public curiosity. Fans noted that Usher briefly deleted his social media accounts following the controversy, leading to speculation about whether he was trying to distance himself. Though he later returned without addressing the situation directly, the timing did not go unnoticed. The price of fame. The entertainment industry has always been a world of power plays, where mentorship can be both a gift and a curse. Figures like Diddy have wielded immense influence, shaping the careers of countless artists. But at what cost? The stories of Usher and Bieber highlight the complexities of these relationships, how guidance and control can sometimes blur together, leaving young stars vulnerable in ways they may not fully grasp until years later. As more details continue to emerge, public curiosity only grows. Were these mentorships simply about business and opportunity, or do they carry deeper, more unsettling implications? While the truth remains elusive, one thing is certain. The music industry is a double-edged sword, especially for young artists placing their trust in powerful figures. AI and the viral hoax. In a bizarre twist, even artificial intelligence has now entered the narrative. A recently circulated AI-generated song, mimicking Justin Bieber's voice, went viral after supposedly referencing one of Diddy's legendary parties. Though it was quickly debunked as a fake, the incident underscored just how deeply public interest in this story runs. Technology has given fans new ways to engage with and speculate about their favorite artists. Whether through AI-generated content, deep dives on social media, or resurfaced interviews, the internet has made it easier than ever to revisit the past with fresh eyes. As the industry continues to evolve, so do the stories that shape it. What other revelations might the future hold? For now, fans and critics alike are left piecing together fragments, searching for clarity in a world where image and reality often blur into one. As the controversy surrounding Sean Diddy Combs continues to unfold, attention has now turned not just to the courtroom, but also to the conditions inside the Metropolitan Detention Center, MDC, where he is currently being held. This shift in focus has sparked discussions about the facility's long-standing challenges, particularly when it comes to the treatment of high-profile inmates. Reports indicate that MDC has faced ongoing struggles, including overcrowding, security risks, and management issues, painting a stark picture of life inside. Recently, federal authorities conducted a large-scale inspection at the facility, officially labeling it a planned safety operation. However, some observers have questioned the timing of this move, wondering whether it was a direct response to recent media scrutiny rather than a proactive effort to address existing concerns. Law enforcement statements confirm that MDC has long faced difficulties, including staff shortages and reports of unauthorized activity within its walls. However, with Diddy's placement there, media interest has intensified, sparking a broader conversation about prison conditions and the treatment of detainees.
I can't tell you how many times I go to visit a client and I'm turned away because there's either an emergency count or there's an emergency lockdown.
Life inside MDC, the reality of high-security detention. The Metropolitan Detention Center has been under scrutiny for years due to its operational challenges. Past reports have highlighted concerns about inmate treatment, access to legal representation, and instances of facility mismanagement. Attorneys who represent individuals held at MDC have frequently spoken out about the difficulties they face in meeting with their clients, citing frequent lockdowns and sudden security measures. These are not new issues, explained a defense attorney familiar with MDC's operations. But the sudden attention makes you wonder, are authorities genuinely addressing long-standing concerns? Or is this about managing public perception? Diddy's presence at MDC has drawn widespread media coverage, not only because of his legal battle, but also because of the broader implications it raises about the justice system and the treatment of high-profile detainees. While he was once a dominant force in the music industry, his current circumstances mark a stark departure from his former lifestyle. High-profile inmates under the spotlight. Diddy is not the only well-known figure currently detained at MDC. The facility is also home to Sam Bankman-Fried, the former cryptocurrency mogul whose legal troubles made global headlines. With multiple high-profile inmates inside, the inner workings of MDC have come under increased scrutiny. Reports from legal professionals and advocacy groups suggest that MDC has struggled with issues ranging from limited resources to security concerns. Some have pointed out that sudden policy changes within the facility have made it difficult for legal representatives to provide adequate counsel. There's a constant sense of unpredictability, shared an attorney with experience handling cases at MDC. I've been turned away from scheduled visits due to lockdowns more times than I can count. That kind of instability raises serious concerns. Inmates have also reportedly voiced fears over personal safety, with some describing the environment as tense and unpredictable. While these concerns have been raised in legal discussions before, Diddy's case has amplified public interest in MDC's conditions, bringing renewed attention to calls for reform. Beyond the headlines, justice, accountability, and celebrity influence, Diddy's legal battle is not just about his own case. It has also reignited conversations about justice, accountability, and the power dynamics at play in high-profile legal proceedings. Throughout history, the entertainment industry has seen its fair share of scandals, with allegations against major figures often leading to intense legal and reputational battles. However, this situation extends beyond one individual. It raises questions about how the justice system treats celebrities versus the general population, and whether media coverage influences legal outcomes. For Diddy, this marks a significant turning point. Once a commanding presence in the music and business world, he now finds himself in a place where celebrity status carries little weight. His legal team continues to fight the allegations, but the long-term impact on his career and legacy remains uncertain. Meanwhile, MDC itself remains a subject of increasing scrutiny. Legal experts, advocacy groups, and even former inmates have called for improvements in the facility, arguing that issues like overcrowding and security concerns should not be overlooked. The question remains, will the heightened attention lead to meaningful reform, or will MDC continue to operate under the same conditions? One thing is certain, this story is far from over. With the legal proceedings still unfolding and new developments likely on the horizon, the world will be watching closely. The outcome of Diddy's case could not only define his future, but also influence ongoing discussions about justice, celebrity, and the realities of incarceration in high-profile cases.
I'm going to try and minimize the amount of time he spends in very, very difficult and, I believe, inhumane housing conditions.
Diddy's case, the legal battle, and its far-reaching implications. Diddy's case continues to unfold, attracting widespread attention as the legal battle reaches a boiling point. The stakes have never been higher, with every new development adding layers to an already complex case. As the allegations against Diddy grow more serious, his legal team is working tirelessly to combat what they believe to be unfounded claims. However, the public nature of the case is proving to be a double-edged sword. The courtroom drama has shifted to a fight over media coverage, with Diddy's attorneys pushing for a gag order to prevent any public commentary that could influence the outcome. The reason behind this legal request is clear. Diddy's defense team is concerned that the constant media coverage is poisoning the jury pool, making it difficult for their client to receive a fair trial. They argue that any statements made by witnesses, lawyers, or the press could sway public opinion before the case even reaches the courtroom. Their aim is to preserve the integrity of the trial, ensuring that Diddy is judged by the facts, not by the headlines. The case has become so high-profile that even the smallest leak or public statement could tilt the balance of justice in one direction or another. However, the push for a gag order is met with significant opposition. Critics argue that limiting public commentary would infringe upon First Amendment rights, stifling free speech in a case that is already under intense media scrutiny. In a nation where the right to free expression is held in high regard, the debate over this issue has become a focal point in the legal community. With tensions running high, the judge is now under immense pressure to make a ruling that ensures fairness, while also upholding the right to free speech. As deadlines draw near, the courtroom drama is far from over. The claims against Diddy aren't just related to serious allegations. They've sparked a much larger conversation about the abuse of power within Hollywood's elite circles. These reports have reignited discussions about power dynamics in the entertainment industry, raising concerns about accountability. With the media dissecting every detail, it becomes increasingly difficult to discern where the truth ends and speculation begins. Diddy's legal team is bracing for a prolonged battle, fully aware that the case could drag on for months, if not longer. They are committed to fighting for their client's right to a fair trial, no matter the public outcry. They've already stated that they are prepared to appeal any unfavorable decisions, taking the case all the way to the highest courts if necessary. Despite the growing pressure and the mounting public sentiment against him, Diddy's team is steadfast in their defense, arguing that the allegations are unfounded and vowing to fight for a fair trial. As the investigation into his actions continues, Diddy finds himself at the center of a larger conversation about accountability and justice, not just for him, but for the entire entertainment industry. The implications of this case go far beyond one man's alleged wrongdoings. It challenges the very system that has protected celebrities for decades. The spotlight on Diddy is a reflection of a broader need for reform, one that holds the powerful accountable, regardless of their fame or influence. In the end, the outcome of this case will have lasting repercussions for the entertainment world and for the public's perception of power, influence, and accountability. As Diddy faces the consequences of his actions, the world watches closely, waiting to see if the truth will finally be revealed. The trial has become part of a broader discussion about power, accountability, and the shifting landscape in Hollywood, where the once untouchable are no longer immune to scrutiny. The ongoing legal drama, Diddy's fight for a fair trial. As this high-profile legal battle continues, the stakes have never been higher for both sides. Diddy's legal team remains steadfast, arguing that the intense media coverage threatens his right to a fair trial. They emphasize that the overwhelming public interest, fueled by constant news reports and social media discussions, could create biases that make it difficult to assemble an impartial jury. Their request for a gag order is aimed at preventing statements from attorneys, witnesses, and even the press from influencing the proceedings before evidence is properly examined in court. However, this request has sparked a heated debate. Legal experts, Activists and free speech advocates argue that restricting public discussion could limit transparency in a case that has already captured national attention. They believe that the public has a right to follow the proceedings, especially given the broader implications regarding power dynamics, accountability, and justice within the entertainment industry. Some critics worry that limiting media access could allow crucial details to remain undisclosed, creating an uneven playing field in the court of public opinion. Meanwhile, Diddy's legal team is fighting on multiple fronts, not just against the allegations, but also against the intense scrutiny that comes with being a celebrity in the justice system. Their primary focus is ensuring that the trial remains fair and that their client is judged based on evidence rather than speculation. This battle is particularly significant in an era where high-profile cases are often influenced by public perception, making the balance between transparency and judicial integrity even more critical. The legal battle itself is expected to be long and complex, with both sides preparing to introduce key evidence and testimonies. Experts predict that the outcome of this case could set a precedent for how future celebrity trials are handled, particularly regarding media influence. The role of high-powered attorneys, strategic public relations moves, and the ongoing media frenzy will undoubtedly shape the direction of the proceedings. For now, all eyes remain on the courtroom, where critical decisions will determine not only Diddy's fate, but also how the justice system navigates high-profile cases in the age of social media. If a gag order is imposed, it could alter the flow of information and influence public opinion. However, if the court allows unrestricted coverage, the challenge will be maintaining fairness while addressing the broader societal issues this case has brought to light. Beyond the legal complexities, this case serves as a larger reflection of the intersection between fame, power, and justice. It raises pressing questions. Can a celebrity truly receive an unbiased trial when the world is watching? Will legal arguments and hard evidence outweigh the narratives being built in the public sphere? And most importantly, will the justice system be able to uphold its principles, ensuring a fair outcome for all parties involved? As the trial progresses, new developments could drastically shift the narrative, with unexpected testimonies, emerging evidence, or strategic legal maneuvers altering the course of events. For now, one thing is certain. This legal saga is far from over, and its implications will be felt far beyond the courtroom.